And we're back. Okay, this is week 4 and our 7th online session. You'll remember that week 2 second session and week 3 second session were Zoom sessions, so we don't have a recorded file for those. Actually, I have a recorded file for those. I have to keep one for the university. But it was decided to not share the Zoom file with students because it's like a real classroom. You come into the classroom late or you don't go to class, you miss the information. So that's your job. Your responsibility is to get notes for things that you missed. There are things that happen in the Zoom classes that can be in your final test, in your midterm test. So, it's your job. EPA3, week 4, the first session of the week, the recorded session, is our 7th online or remote class. Now, in the previous weeks, in the PowerPoint, I listed a review, the things that we were going to talk about, and a preview, the things that we will talk about this class that are new. But as I mentioned last class, that's not my usual teaching style, because your company is not going to give you reviews and previews, or if they do, they're very, very, very short. They're also not going to give you massive handouts of what we're going to talk about, our agenda. They might give you a really short one. And they're not going to give you a long handout of everything we talked about last time. Even though they might do that through email. They might or they might not. Depends on that company's culture, company culture. But my attitude is I need to help you prepare for the real world, help you prepare for real business life, if that's government, private sector, NGOs, working in churches. So I'm not going to do a lot of that. I don't put a ton of stuff up on the Haksabjaryo. In fact, this semester I might put up less than I would in other semesters because half of our lectures so far are recorded. So watch the recording. Okay, as you know, the first 5-7 minutes of a class, maybe even 10 minutes of a class, I'm going to talk extemporaneously. Extemporaneously means live, unplanned. I have a few things that I'd like to talk about, but other times there's just whatever comes to my brain when I walk in. So, for example, this week, many of us, many of you, definitely me, have been following coronavirus around the world, seeing how different countries are affected. Italy's been horribly affected. Spain, a little bit less so. U.S. is now up. This is Sunday night. April 5th. I've been in Korea too long. I'm forgetting my months. Sawal, yeah? This is the 5th day of April that we're recording this Sunday night. And the United States is over 1 million confirmed cases. Yeah, there's problems. That's a global phenomenon, and there's going to need to be local at the city level and county level and state or province or metropolitan city level solutions and national level solutions and international level solutions. For example, healthcare. We don't have a cure. Don't even exactly know how to deal with it. We don't even know exactly how this virus is transmitted. The experts thought they knew, but now they see that actually maybe they don't. And this week's newspapers are saying maybe Asia was right and everyone should wear a mask. But that's still not the policy of a lot of countries, or they're saying, oh, any kind of cloth will do. We just don't have enough science, don't have enough knowledge. So coronavirus is a big thing in the news, of course. That image there is still kind of accepted as an image for coronavirus. Want to remind you about a listening log. You're supposed to keep a listening log pretty much every day. You might take some holidays in the future, so be sure you do lots now, because if you don't do enough at the end of the semester, you're going to lose points. And maybe next week, I will ask to see your listening logs. Now that can just be a photograph, a snap on your camera, that you upload to the Haksabjaryo, to the CTL in the assignment section, the what do they call it, Kwaje section. I haven't figured it out quite yet what we're going to do, but anyway, I'm going to want to see your listening logs to see if you're keeping up, and I can give you feedback. I'm going to want to see your notebooks. Are you taking good notes? Again, another reason why I'm not going to provide copies of the Zoom classes is you're supposed to take notes. That's a business skill. So I'll be looking at notebooks, and I don't usually grade the first time I see it, but I give some feedback like, well, you've done a lot, or you're doing okay, or you're kind of behind, something like that. Let's see. We're going to be working in the book today, so be sure to grab your book. If you don't have your book, pull up the PDF file that's on the Haksabjaryo before we go much further. You can do that while this recording is still playing. You gotta buy the book. Okay? We're gonna need the book in our class Thursday at 10:30 a.m. And delivery is still working. And there's books in the bookstores. You can buy them online. Get the book. If you don't have the book on our Thursday class, you can't do your job. I'm not going to put any more book online. Buy the book. I don't like illegal copies. If you're using somebody's book from last year, that's fine. Do not make photocopies. It's illegal. Even in Korea, it's still illegal. Alright. Listening logs and notebooks. Keep up with the assignments. You have a couple of assignments. We're going to pop into that real quick. Let's see. Assignments. Here. Need to shrink this down so we can see what's going on. Okay. The business self-introduction is still live. It's open until April 1st. Maybe it's not open. Maybe it's not live. I forget. When does it close? Oh, yeah, here. No. Business self-introduction with name card has closed. 12 people did it. Looks like 4 people did not do it. Points is points, folks. Do your work. We have 2 new assignments. Your company introduction. And there is a written assignment, and there is a spoken assignment, a recording. Let's see what I got the notes here. Company introduction, write it. 3 people have done, 13 people have not. And the recording, 2 people have done it, 14 have not. Now this is Sunday night, 8 p.m. So you've got time to get it done. You've got time until the 7th, which is Wednesday, Tuesday night. Alright, get it done. Points are points. Don't throw away your points. In our last Zoom meeting last week, Thursday, 6 people attended. 12 people did not. 1 person had an excuse. The time for technical excuses is ending. You've had time to get this figured out. I prefer you to use a computer. If you can only use a phone, I understand. It's harder for you. My standard, my expectation is still the same. You need to be able to open the chat, write something, read what other people do. You need to be able to give me some feedback. Raise a hand, pop up a thumb. You need to be able to pop into groups. You need to be able to hear and to speak. Now listen, there are two different technologies, and if you use the wrong technology, you have a problem. If you're using the earbud system, like these, you can't see that, hang on, like these guys, they typically use a single pin. Let's see, we'll get this here, that'll be easier. They use a single pin. If you're using some other technology, some headphones use two pins, like this, red and green, pink and green, pink and blue. And many computers, like my desktop, only use two-pin system. One is the headphone, green, and one is the microphone. So if you have a one-pin system and you pin it into a two-pin system, only one thing will work, right? Presumably you plug it into the headphones, your headphones work, you have the mic. Now, right now I'm using a system where my webcam has a microphone, and I have external speakers turned down very, very low. And that's possible if you turn your speakers up so you can hear me. Then you turn on your mic, you can get echoes, feedback, whatever. So get your technology sorted out. Webcams, really want you to have a webcam, because when you work with a partner, it's really nice to be able to see your partner. But, excuse me, if your webcam absolutely does not work, there's no penalty for that. I'm not going to kill you. Life is hard. Sometimes stuff happens. All right? So, that seems wrong. So, get your technology sorted out. I know there's money involved. Look, my son goes to university in America, and they have to use computers. I mean, even before coronavirus, in class, they had assignments they had to do online, had to turn in online. They had to have Microsoft Word and Excel and internet connection. And it's their burden. Now, if they were going into campus and wanted to sit in the multimedia lab or computer center or whatever, yeah, that's possible, but it's not very convenient. The other option is to have your own computer. Computers are not terrible expensive. You can buy a cheap netbook for about some shit, 300,000 that doesn't give you Microsoft Office and all that, but there's free versions you can use, freeware. But I don't know how you can survive university if you don't have a computer. You have reports to do. It just seems like it's part of life expense. Professors, we have the same problem. You know, the university gives us a computer in our office if we're in our office. Which is nice, but they don't give us a printer. They don't give us a webcam. They don't give us microphone. They give us a big microphone for the classroom, but not for this kind of class. And I'm home, so I have to do everything. Yeah, we're getting paid. It's not quite the same. I get it. I understand. But right now we're looking at online classes, remote classes, until at least May 4. Could be longer. Are you going to survive this? You need to have the technology to survive. And the cell phone is a workaround, but it makes life harder for you. Buy a webcam if you can. Imanan, 7 bottles of soju. Something like that. Alright. So those are assignments that you need to do. I prefer to do it this way. Hang on a second. EPA3. So, When we move to week 4, I'm in week 3 right now. When we pop to week 4, you can see there's two things there. There'll be a video. This video will be appearing there. But I want to remind you, come on, click. I have reset the videos so that you can review. You can watch any video again. Remember, the first time you watch a video, you have to watch it full length non-stop. But after you've done that, you can watch any video you want. Now, week 3, we see 9 people have watched that video that you should watch before last week's Zoom. So this video you should watch before this week's Zoom. But you can play it again, play it back. Don't worry about these polls and these tests. I'm not going to grade any of them. There were some hiccups. We're all learning together. The Haksab Chario, there's nothing for this week uploaded yet. But I have one thing to inform you, one thing to worry about. You may have heard that Zoom has been hacked, that people are trying to get in and do naughty things like show bad pictures or interfere with the various things that are going on in Zoom. Why is that important? It's important because Zoom has started a password program. All new meetings, a class is a meeting, require a password. But I registered our classes, our Thursday morning 10:30 a.m. classes for the whole semester under the old system. So I do not know if we will need a password or we won't. I don't know if they're going back and changing what was. So I have a Zoom class on Wednesday night for my EPA3 night class. And I guess I'll find out then. If you need a password, I will put it up on the Haksab Chario in the notice board with the Zoom notice. All right, and it's got the link here for this class, for our class, and I will add a password to this document. But right now I don't know if we're going to need a password, so I just can't say. Anything else housekeeping work to do? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything on the Haksab on the Jaju Geshipan. There's no new post. There's no post from students. Everybody has seen it. Nobody has commented. That's fine. I have gotten some messages by Kakao, and that's fine. By text messages, and that's fine. By email, and that's fine. Now look, you gotta come to class. The Zoom meeting is just like a class meeting. You should be there on time. If you're not on time, I can mark you late. You gotta stay full time. You need to participate. When you go into breakout groups for pair work, one-to-one, or small groups, you need to be active. I can bounce around and see who's doing what. What can I say? If you have a problem with the Zoom and you can't get in, snap a picture of your computer screen, give me a screenshot, and send it to me immediately during class. Send me a Kakao during class. Tell me you have a problem. Send me an SMS during class. If you don't have SMS and you don't have Kakao, it's kind of strange, send me an email during the class time. Show me a screenshot, and then I can understand, and maybe I'll give you credit for trying to be in class. All right? But if you talk to me the next day and say, oh, I couldn't go, you're not there. And I allow 2 absence in my class, 2. I don't want to see a note Oh, my friend was sick. I went with my friend. Here's his doctor's note. I was with him. I don't want to hear, oh, I had a cold, so I went to the doctor, got a note. I don't look at these things because I give you 2 absences. Nothing else matters. If you're sleeping in the hospital, I care. I won't mark you absent. If there's been a death in your family, I understand. I care. I won't mark you absent. But except that, I'm like your boss. I don't care. Come to work. Come to work. If you're come to work means in our Zoom classes. Come to work means watch these videos in the schedule, in the week, because if you don't watch it in the week, the university will mark you absent. And when we get back to face-to-face classes, come to work. Now, right now the school is planning to come back in time for midterms week. I don't think we'll do midterms the actual first week back in school. That's just a little strange. We'll probably have 1 week of class and then we'll do midterms. Not quite sure. Everything's crazy. Nobody knows anything. All right? Okay, I've killed 20 minutes talking to you. It's all talking with very little video support. Are your ears bleeding? Too much English? Come on, we're in week 4. You should be ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm going to close this CTL because we don't need it. And I'm going to close this PowerPoint because now we don't need it. And we're moving into the book. Again, if you have the book, open it up. We're going to page 6, which is the reading. And it is my hope, my preference, that you always look at things in advance. I mentioned that you should look at things in advance. You can see the star in my book that says this page is important. We're talking about business dress codes. Okay? And in the Zoom class, I asked you to look up the meaning of dress code. What is business dress? What is dress code? Okay. Code, C-O-D-E, has several meanings, but here we don't mean some kind of secret messaging system. Here, code means laws, or something like laws. And code more exactly means organized laws. So, for example, in the United States, the Congress will pass a law, but the name of the law would be something like the mandatory clothing for public sanitation workers law of 2017. I just made it up. It doesn't exist. I hope. But when we look at it, what passes the Congress and what the President signs would have a number like 2017 PL Public Law 2017-13467, and that PL Public Law 2017 in the year 2017 12367 or whatever number, that's the next number of law passed. How many laws were passed in that year? But that's not how we know it, because then the laws are codified. And codified means put into an organized system. So, for example, all the laws about health and safety would go into this book. And all the laws about security, policing, goes into this book. All the laws about crime go into this book. And inside that book, we have chapters and subchapters and sections and sections and sections. And so the new law gets put into the book in the right place, given the proper code number. So it might be United States Code 8, meaning book 8, section 1321-23-44-8A. And that's how we know the law, is because it has been codified, it has been sorted or classified, organized, and put into the proper order. That's a code. Now, we also use the word code in a simpler version, which just means understood rules. It's not actually a law, and it's not actually sorted, but it's just kind of understood rules. So this reading is about business dress codes, okay? Dress codes for business. And we're going to talk about a couple things here. And first we're going to read it together. I'm going to read it for you. And then I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to ask some questions. So first, dress codes. We've talked about dress codes. Dress codes are rapidly changing in the world of business. In companies across the United States, the business suit and tie are disappearing from the workplace, and casual office wear, slacks and a sport jacket for men, pants or a skirt and a jacket for women, is becoming more and more popular. Dress Down Friday, a day when employees are permitted to wear casual clothes, is spreading to the other weekdays, and this trend will probably continue. Okay, so first of all, let's go back and look at this word. That's fine. Except that missed. We'll leave it that way. The business suit and tie. Well, we know what a tie is. It means a necktie, right? But what's a business suit? Think about it. Okay. Question. Am I wearing a suit? Can I go far enough back so you can see me, more of me? All right. Well, you can't see much. Let's get this chair out of the way. All right. My head's missing, but that's okay. I have a jacket. I have a shirt. I have a tie. And I have, let's call them pants for the moment. I'm going to walk a little closer so you can see the jacket and the pants. See my belly? Now I'm going to get closer so you can see my trousers, my pants, and my suit. Now I know it's a little bit hard here, so let me show you my jacket a little closer. And you'll see there's lots of little lines going this way and lines going this way. It's kind of a check. And my pants do not have any lines. My pants are gray. They are not the same color as the jacket. Question. Am I wearing a suit? Is this a business suit? Am I wearing a suit? Time. 3, 2, 1. Ding. Am I wearing a suit? The answer is no. This is not a suit. Why is it not a suit? In a suit, the jacket and the pants are the same material. It's a matching set. They are sold together as one combination. And so in Korean, it's often called a kombi. All right? What I am wearing right now is a sports jacket. A sports jacket does not mean a letterman's jacket with the big K like we have in Kim Day. It doesn't mean a jacket you wear for sports. It means a jacket which is similar to a suit jacket. but a little bit more casual. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of what is a sport coat, a sport jacket. Even native speakers of English don't agree exactly, so it's not worth it. But a business suit means the jacket and the trousers are made of the same material, they match. And women also have suits, and sometimes they're pantsuits, where it's, pants and a jacket that matches. Other times it is a jacket and a skirt. Okay, what's the difference between a skirt and a dress? A woman's dress is a one piece. In Korean you say one piece, right? From shoulders to the legs, it's all one piece, and there's no pants to go with it. A one piece. A skirt only goes from the waist down. So on top you would wear something different. A skirt can come with a jacket the same way. So if we look at this picture, well, we can't see. It's possible this woman is wearing a skirt which is the same material as the jacket. Or she could be wearing pants which are the same material as the jacket. But it's possible she's not. So when you see me at school, you probably won't see me in a suit. When I first came to Korea in 1994, I came to Korea with, I think I had 3 or 4 slacks, trousers, pants. They're pretty much the same. Even British and Americans don't agree. In England, pants is what you wear underneath, panties or long long underwear like navel, something like that. But in U.S., pants is the same. Slacks sound like they're a little bit nicer, but still a little bit casual. Trousers are open. It doesn't have any particular feeling. It's kind of an old-sounding word. But I think I came with 3 or 4 slacks, 2 pair of like jeans or something like that. Maybe 3 sport coats and 3 suits. And I came over. Why do you have so many suits? I was a lawyer. I wore a suit probably 2 or 3 days a week, and I wore a sport coat the other 2 days. I always dress. I wore a tie every day to the office. And I wear a tie to school almost every day. Right? So I definitely wore the business suit and tie, and when I didn't, I wore slacks, a sport jacket, and a tie. But in this picture, we see this guy has no jacket and no tie. All right. So the business suit and tie are disappearing from the workplace, and casual office wear, slacks and a sport jacket for men, pants or a skirt and a jacket for women, is becoming more and more popular. Dress Down Friday, a day when employees are permitted to wear casual clothes, is spreading to other weekdays, and this trend will probably continue. Now, Dress Down Friday could mean open collar, like this man. Open collar means no tie. But it could mean something like a sport t-shirt. A polo shirt or a golf shirt is a man's shirt that has a collar and 2 buttons or 3 buttons, but usually short sleeve. Right? A polo shirt or a golf shirt, maybe it has a crocodile on it or something. But also, for example, in many banks in U.S. on Friday, Dress Down Friday means staff are encouraged to wear a sport t-shirt. Just a t-shirt that has their team brand on it. So it could say like Samsung Lions, right? Daegu FC. I'm from San Diego Padres. And you can't imagine that in a bank in Korea where they dress so formally, or they used to at least. But in America, it's very common. It's Dress Down Friday. And this story says that Dress Down Friday is spreading to other weekdays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can wear casual clothes any day. Of course, places like Google are famous for casual clothing, but most of those people work in offices with no public contact. So one question will also be how much public contact. When I was a lawyer, if I had to go to court, I had to wear a suit. It was expected. If I was in the office and I was seeing clients, well, a coat and a tie was enough. A sport coat was fine. But if it was Friday afternoon and we weren't seeing any clients, then maybe I might take off my tie, take off my jacket. The dress code could vary could change depending on whether you're seeing people. All right. So I've just made you totally confused, and you probably forgot half of what was on top. That's all right. That's the challenge. That's my teaching style. Is I want to make things challenging for you, not too easy. I'm not kind, No, really. I want you to have these distractions, because then you're really growing your skills. Second paragraph. In a poll, in a survey of 3,700 executives by Management Recruiters International, recruiting company of Cleveland, Ohio, 40% of these 3,700 executives, 40% believe that the business suit is becoming a thing of the past. Remember, this book is from the year 2000. So 20 years ago, 40% of executives thought the business suit is getting out of date. Many executives believe that business people will not wear suits at all 10 years from now, not even to job interviews. Well, that didn't happen. That's not true. We still wear a business suit to a job interview unless you're getting a job interview at McDonald's or Google. You should find out what is the company dress code, and you should dress for your job. If you want to be a cleaning woman, a suit doesn't make any sense. You should dress in something that's nice, but something that fits your job. All right, so the reading. Write true or false according to the article. See if we can get up here. I'm going to have to shrink this a little bit so that you can see it better. You can read it. All right. This article is about what to wear for an interview. True or false? Now, in fact, in my EPA3 class, our book offers a third choice, and it's an important choice, and I want you to think about it. And that third choice is, I don't know. I don't know sounds terrible, but it's not terrible. I don't know means I don't know, but not necessarily my fault. I don't know can mean I have no information. So don't lie. Don't invent information. If you didn't tell me, I don't know. That means it's maybe your fault. You didn't tell me. I don't know. You didn't tell me. The information's not in the reading. I didn't think about that? That's probably not a good answer. I didn't study. That's bad. And usually Korean students don't want to say, I don't know, because then their teacher says, you didn't study. And that's bad. All right? We don't want that feeling. I'm just telling you that in English, I don't know is a possible good answer if it means it's not really my fault. So this article is about what to wear for an interview. Well, the answer is true. Yes, it is. It does mention it. Will not wear suits at all. But on the other hand, it's only a little bit about that. The main point is not about an interview. The main point is about dress in business. So the best answer is probably false. This article is about means the main point, or one of the main points. And really no, because it's really only half of a sentence where many business executives believe business people will not wear suits at all, not even to job interviews. So really it's only the last tiny bit that even says job interviews at all. So the best answer for A, this article is about what to wear for an interview, the best answer is probably false. Business people dress informally more often now. Well, now we have a second problem. We can talk about formal, we can talk about informal, and we can talk about casual. And informal is kind of the opposite extreme. We've got formal over on this side, and we've got informal over on this side, and casual is kind of this area less than formal. Less than formal. But it says formally, L-Y, meaning going that direction. So true, business people dress informally more often now. Alright? Going into a casual direction is going into an informal direction. Nowadays, people wear business suits on dress-down Fridays. Well, that's false, because that's exactly the opposite of what they were saying. Of course, there surely are a few people that wear suits even on dress-down Friday. Usually the company will say something like dress down or wear the proper uniform. So think about that Samsung man or that LG man, that executive, he's a manager type. He goes into the office. He goes to work, drives into work in his nice car. Maybe he even has a driver. And he's wearing his beautiful suit, his $1,000 suit. Becky Shipmanan suit. And goes into the office, and the first thing he does is he takes off his jacket, puts it on the hanger, and puts on his company jacket. Because the uniform, the dress code in the company is that you wear the Samsung jacket or the LG jacket most of the time. Even the senior executives will wear a company jacket most of the time. I used to teach in the Samsung factories, and yeah, it's true. At least when they're not going out to meet certain kinds of people where they need to wear their full suit. So there's these kind of extremes. And in fact, there are places where they tell workers wear the proper uniform, the proper suit. The uniform in your company might be a suit. IBM Classic was a black suit. Or a gray suit with light, thin stripes, maybe. But not blue suit. And certainly not brown or beige or any other color. They had a very, very, very strict dress code at IBM in the 1960s. And so if they had a dress down Friday or maybe a sports Friday, they would say you can wear our uniform or you can wear your favorite team t-shirt, but not in the middle. It's A or B, not in the middle. So informally sounds like going that way, but we don't know exactly how far. D, many of the executives in the poll think that business people will dress more casually in the future. Well, that's true. That's definitely stated in there. 40% is certainly many. Didn't say most. Many. 40% is certainly many. Business is becoming a thing of the past. Many executives believe that business people will not wear suits at all. That certainly sounds like dressing more casually, more informally. Okay? So casual and informal are not exactly the same thing. For example, if you receive an invitation to an activity and it says dress casual, then casual could even be jeans, Levi's, if they're clean, not too dirty, right? And sports shoes, that could be casual. But if it says business casual, then it's more like how this man is dressed here, right? Don't need a tie, don't need a jacket, maybe, but it should be nice pants, not Levi's. All right. At the bottom, it says talk about it. We're not going to do this here because, well, it's one-way teaching, right? But you can see 2 questions. I want you to think about them, and we might do these in our Zoom class on Thursday morning. 3A, what do men and women wear to work in your company? Remember, you have imagined your future company, the company you're going to be working in 5 years after graduation. You've got a business card for that company. You've done a business introduction for that company. That's your homework, right? Talk a little bit about history and place, whatever. Not too long, 15 seconds, 30-second introduction to your company. So, what do men and women wear to work in your company? Well, if you're working at my coffee company, Aardvark Coffee, then the dress code is going to be pretty casual. We have a company polo shirt, right? And a white apron, or maybe not white. Thinking about it, maybe a gray apron. It'll show dirt a little bit less, right? But an apron, apchima. You say in Korean, apchima, an apron. Maybe that's my dress code. If you have flown on Jin Air, you know that the Jin Air flight team, the cabin crew, wear jeans, blue jeans. And that's part of their uniform. And they wear a polo shirt. Do I remember correctly? I don't remember what color. If you've flown on Cebu Pacific, they wear a yellow polo shirt. If you've flown on Air Asia, they wear a red polo shirt. So that's kind of their uniform is a very casual uniform. They're low-cost carriers. But if you fly on Korean Air or Asiana, they dress much more formally. Right? That's the different model, the different dress code for that company. Okay, we're going to just scroll ahead. The next page is a writing page. We're not going to do writing. It's useful to look at it. For example, it has a company introduction. The company introduction is quite short. It's the kind of thing that you might do for your company, for your assignment, for your homework. Nippon Video is one of the largest suppliers of videotapes in Asia. Videotapes? Wow, this is old. We have 15 offices in Japan and a wide network of manufacturing and distribution centers in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and the Philippines. We have an excellent reputation for quality, efficiency, and service at a low price. That's pretty good. In your your business introduction, I hope you would say where your head office is. And I hope you would say something maybe about how many workers you have. And maybe exactly kind of what you do. This one says wide network of manufacturing and distribution centers. That doesn't quite make sure in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and Philippines. So I wonder where they actually make the videos. Do they make them in Japan, or do they make them maybe in the Philippines where it's cheaper? And their distribution could be in Japan and Korea, but not in the Philippines. It's not very clear. It's not very, very important. Why? Remember what I told you before about in English, we do short introductions, and then people ask questions. That's how we get conversation going. So my introduction is short, and they go, oh, really? Do you have distribution centers in the Philippines? No. Only our manufacturing is in the Philippines. Our distribution is in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. In Taiwan, we have 2 centers, right? The 2 biggest cities, blah, 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 right? So something like that. So that's just a kind of a model of self-introduction, and if we business self-introduction. If we look at this email or this letter above, we'll see that it was written to somebody in Korea, and that might affect how he introduces himself. All right. At the bottom of the page, they give us some useful language. Now, every chapter has this kind of system where there's green boxes and yellow boxes and orange boxes and blue boxes. I think that's right. And this green box, it provides useful language. This is kind of thing I hope to hear in your test. On your midterm test, on your final test, show me that you have more than middle school English. I am fine, thank you, and you. Right? Show me that you're learning in my class by using some of the language that's in the book. That's a little more challenging. We are recognized as a world leader, or we are known as Korea's top. The bottom line, please feel free, and the middle line enclosed. These are kind of specific to email, to a message. So If we go back up, we're going to look again. Previously, we had conversation strategies. I pointed that out to you when we were in the Zoom class, right? That's a kind of a blue box, purpley blue box. Some things you can say. And previous, was it? Well, no, in this chapter we don't have more, but in other chapters we may have more sections. For example, a grammar box. But not in this one. Alright. So, I want to take a look at the beginning of the next chapter. Making conversation, business talk, getting started. Chapter 2. Okay, again, take a look at the objectives. First objective is to make small talk. That includes things like to initiate and continue a conversation and to write a follow-up message after an initial meeting. Okay, we're not going to do the writing. To initiate means to start. To start a conversation and to continue a conversation. Because conversations can kind of slow down or kind of stop. People get a little uncomfortable, and we need something nice and soft to get the conversation going again. Imagine we're playing sports, we're playing ball, and the guy is trying to hit and he keeps missing and he's striking out, and you feel sorry for him because it's a friendly game, so you throw him a nice soft pitch, nice and easy so he can hit it. We call that, throwing a softball. Doesn't mean that the baseball is hard or the baseball is soft. It's kind of a soft pitch, an easy one to hit. It's nice and fat and juicy and bang. So small talk is this idea of doing things that are not important, that are not difficult. Everybody feels safe and we can do a good job. I've just discovered that I'm kind of falling off the camera. So we want to be able to make small talk. Little things that make everybody comfortable. And small talk in Korean and small talk in English are not exactly the same. There's lots of things that are shared, but there's other things that are kind of hot topics, hot buttons, the kind of thing you don't want to ask because they make people uncomfortable. And honestly, the topics of what we can talk about change and have changed. And so sometimes I have to be careful what I'm talking about, because the things that were okay in the 1960s and 1970s when I was growing up, before I ever went to work, that's 50 years ago, more. And some of those things we can't talk about anymore, right? When I was young, it wasn't at all strange to ask if a woman was married. We didn't ask her age, but we could ask if she was married. Now, can't do that. When I was little, we didn't even have MS for Ms. We said Ms. to somebody who was old or whatever, but there wasn't any formal writing. This just came up in the end of the 1960s, this MS. And I'm going to click and write that for you. MS. Sounds like Ms. If you like wrestling, the Miz is a little bit different. But MS. MS simply means the same as MR. Mr.? Oops. Mr.? Is he married? I don't know. We don't have a different word for a man who's married and a man who's not married. Right? MR, Mr. MS, Ms. Married? Not married? I don't know. I don't care. It's not important. Okay? Now the other words we have, of course, MRS means Mrs. We usually say it something like that. Mrs. Maybe make that a Z sound. Mrs. And then, of course, MISS, Miss. Miss means a lady who's not married. Mrs. means a woman who's married. But why do we have a different word for women than for men? Well, that's sexist. So it has changed. Usually when I talk to a young lady in my classes, I will say Ms. Ms. Lee, are you okay? Okay. That's just the way English has grown, the way it has turned in direction. And for our men in our classes, I will usually say Mr. Bach, Mr. Lee, Ms. Lee, Ms. Kim. I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be respectful to you. Now, if I know you well, I might use your real name. Can he, are you okay today? Right? Because I know you, I can say it like that. But the only other time I'll much use a given name only is if we have, 18 Kims in the class, and I need to identify one, then I might say Kim Hyun-hee. Right? And of course, because I'm not expert in Korean, and some Korean names can be both men and women, sometimes I can't say Mr. Kim or Ms. Kim because I'm not really sure if this name is a man's name or a woman's name. So calling the roll or whatever, I'll probably call all three names. Anyway, Ms. is married, not married, I don't know, I don't care, it's not important, why do you want to know? Mr. married, not married, I don't know, I don't care, why is it important, why do you want to know? Mrs. married, Miss not married. Close that. Alright. So when we're talking about small talk, and we will actually do this in class, but I'm just going to introduce it here, if I can get this down. We can see 4 dialogues here, 3A, 3B, A, B, C, D. You like Thai food, don't you? You like Korean food. You like kimchi, don't you? Bangkok is an exciting city, isn't it? Don't you agree? You're in the computer industry, aren't you? Pretty broad question, right? You like sports, don't you? The only grammar point for these phrases is something that you learned in middle school. We call it a tag question, T-A-G, tag. Like playing the game tag. You're it. Run. Oh, I got you. You're it. Tag. Tag question is when we use both positive and negative in the same sentence with a question. So we start a positive sentence with a negative question, like these. You like Thai food, don't you? Right? So, you like, do you not? Isn't it right? Don't you? Bangkok is an exciting city, isn't it? You're in the computer industry, aren't you? You like sports, don't you? We have a positive and a negative. So you can't just say yes. Yes means you like Thai food? Yes. Don't you? Oh, you don't like Thai food? Yes. Yes, I don't like. Negative questions are a mess in English. In Korean, negative questions, you have a rule. How to answer. In French, there's a rule. In Spanish, there's a rule. In Russian, there's a rule. In German, there's a rule. In English, we break all the rules. So we don't know. So you can't just plan to answer simply and easily. Make a longer answer. Yes, I do. Yes, I am. And even better, a little longer. Yes, I am a software engineer. Now we'll actually listen to this in class, and I'll review this again, but this is a tag question. It's the kind of thing that makes small talk easy. It requires the person to say more than yes or no, but it doesn't require a long answer. It's not like, what do you do? Now I feel like I'm really under pressure. I say, you're an engineer, aren't you? Then you can say, yes, I am, or no, I'm not an engineer. Oh, well, what do you do? Oh, I think I don't want to tell you. But we start very often with tag questions, T-A-G. All right, so we have read these questions. You like Thai food, don't you? And the answer is, I'm not sure. What's it like? Must be a dumb person. They don't know Thai food. B. Bangkok is an exciting city, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a software engineer. Oh, yes, there's so much to do. Maybe possible. 3. Oh, Oh yes, I'm big soccer. Soccer? No, no. Okay. B. 2. Yes, there's so much to see and do. C. You're in the computer industry, aren't you? 1. Yes, I'm a software computer. Yeah. C. 1. You're in the computer industry, aren't you? Yes, I'm a software engineer. D. You like sports, don't you? So much to see and do in sports. Maybe possible. 3. I'm not sure what's it like sports. What's it like? Maybe possible, but seems dumb. So when we're doing these kinds of things like on a TOEIC test, we want to consider what's possible and what's impossible. So 1, not possible. 2, maybe. 3, maybe, but 2 is probably better than 3. And oh yes, I'm a big soccer sports. How about you? Okay, so D is 4. So when we're thinking about these kinds of questions, think about like TOEIC style, where even if you don't know the right answer, if you can make a good guess, if you can cancel some possibilities, so it's not 1 chance in 4, but it's 1 chance in 2, you have a much better chance of being right. So we'll come back to this kind of stuff in the Zoom class. Be sure you have a book in the Zoom class, because this is the last page in our book, in our PDF. All right? I'll see you online. Be free. Feel free to contact me with messages, with questions. My job is to help you learn. Your job is to learn. My job is to help you learn. If you have a question, ask me. Bye-bye.